Welcome to Melt. I'm Suresh Venkat. Yes, I'm at an MG Motors showroom. The British origin brand has been celebrating its recent milestone of selling 1 lakh cars within just 3 years of its entry into India. What are the reasons behind the brand's success? Well, Melt is in conversation with Gaurav Gupta, Chief Commercial Officer, MG Motor India, to find out. So let's talk cars, computers, and connectedness as we get ready to melt with Gaurav Gupta. Gaurav, would it be fair to call MG a startup in the Indian automobile space?
Well, Suresh, I would say from a time perspective, the time that we have spent in the country, less than 3 years, it would qualify as a startup. But more importantly, along with the time is the way we operate, the culture of the organization, the approach of the organization, and the nimble-footedness of the organization. I think all of it comes together and we could call ourselves a startup team.
And every startup has its share of challenges. What has been MG's challenges?
Oh, not one. In fact, right from the drawing board, when we were looking at setting up the MG operations in India, foreseeing the challenges, planning for them, and at the same time being nimble-footed for what has come along during this journey. Starting from what would be our product portfolio for the country, how would consumers look at MG when they have a choice of other brands in the market as well? Because this is a fairly well-developed industry, if you can say, with a lot of global brands, local brands as well. So what would be different stance of MG that would make consumers look at us and say, well, I want to go and try an MG. Then, of course, to building up the entire ecosystem, which would be our dealer partners, our supplier network for parts, and of course, building a great team. These are the typical challenges anyone would face. And I think we've been able to, walk through all of them, work around it. And really, I would say we are blessed and fortunate in deep gratitude as to where we have reached here in just less than 3 years.
So give us a sense of what it's taken to build the MG brand over the last 3 years.
Multiple factors have come in together. I would say first is to look at the brand overall in terms of what the brand purpose would be and how the brand would be differentiated. So it came out, we said it will be an auto tech brand, which means technology would be a play in not only in our products, but also in our services and offerings. The second is about how we chose our products. Again, technology, yes, but we used the acronym of CASE, Connected, Autonomous, Shared and Electric, to choose our products. And then you've seen that the MG Hector as being the first internet SUV, the ZS EV, the first electric internet SUV, the Gloucester as being the first autonomous level 1 premium SUV, and now the Aster as autonomous level 2 and AI inside SUV. That was the product platform. We then looked at building the entire network of our dealer partners across the country, where we had a differentiated strategy, our suppliers, our partners, and most importantly, our team at MG India and our global support system as well. All of it came together. And I would say that the brand pillars of innovation, gender diversity, experience, and community, all of this has been lived up in our short journey in India.
Gaurav, MG believes itself to be a digital-first car company. I have two questions. What does this mean? And is this your biggest differentiator?
I would say probably yes. Digital-first company, I would say, is because we always look at digital comes to us naturally in our thought process. As a digital-first company, we looked at be a future-ready from a digital perspective. Even when we looked at what is in the car per se, it was internet inside, right? We looked at even the booking process for the MG Hector. First time was again online completely. We have multiple offerings for the consumer also. All of it is on your mobile screen. Not only the iSmart app, but the MyMG app. Secondly, we've got offerings like MG Expert, wherein it's a fusion of digital and human coming in together to offer our customers a 24/7 service offering. During the pandemic time, we said that we all go virtual, but some of us still like to be physical, the way we are talking, Suresh. MG Expert is a fusion of both. MG ePay as well, which is an end-to-end from discovery to delivery. All of it is online completely, right? So similarly, I would say there are very many steps that we take internally, consumer-facing and internally, which are in the digital space. So digital first is the right way to say it.
And you go so far as to put the words internet inside on the car body itself.
That's right.
What is the marketing thinking behind this?
I must say, I'll give the credit to our team and our leader Rajiv for this. We were coining this to how would we communicate to the customer that this is a connected vehicle with an embedded SIM. So it is not taking the connection of your mobile phone as many others would be doing so. but it had a SIM of its own. So literally you could say at that time, it's a 4G on 4 wheels, and in the future 5G on 4 wheels. But then how would someone understand what is inside? The study said that internet makes you understand that that's connected, it has got the services. So keeping it absolutely simple was internet inside.
Gaurav, clearly this has worked. You debuted in India 3 years ago and you recently crossed the 1 lakh mark, if I'm not mistaken. Why do you think MG succeeded in India?
When you say succeeded in India, I would say that we are still in our foundation stage, Suresh. We still have a long way to build up our operations in the country. So for reaching the 1 lakh mark, I will say that on behalf of the entire team, we are truly grateful and we thank everyone for their support. But this journey has been, like we always say, it's not about the destination, but enjoy the journey. I think our journey has been traversed with a lot of successes in the milestones, if I could say that, but also a lot of challenges, some foreseen and planned for, and some unforeseen and managed to address it as well. The key situations, I would say, definitely have been that our value and our purpose of saying we want to enable exciting experience every time, offer the customer always something extra. It's not about discount or offerings, it's about extra services. We've got our customers rating us number 1 both on the sales and service side. Our dealer partners have ranked us number 2 on their satisfaction with us in the FADA survey, which is the Federation of Automotive Dealer Association. Our gender diversity, here I will take a minute, Suresh, to elaborate a bit more. We looked at nature as 50-50, and we said that we should be looking at that as an ultimate mark for our operations. We started with 30% as a target in the automotive industry. We would say probably we are the leaders to have a 30% diversity target at that time, including on the shop floor. So we have, our female associates working in our paint shop, in our welding shop. We are at 37% today with a mission of 50% by 23 end, right? And along this journey, we also have our employees certify us to be as a great place to work. And lastly, I would say that the product also has done very well. The resale value of the MG Hector has been number 1. So overall, it's been a very, I would say, reassuring milestone pinned journey so far. But having said so, we know this is a foundation stage for us and we have to work much harder. And this certification helps us to get motivated for the next milestone now.
2 out of MG's 3 years in India were COVID years, which had pandemics and lockdowns. What did you learn about the organization in this time?
Couple of points come to my mind, Suresh. One, definitely more importance for safety and for health of our employees and family, and for individually as well. We all, I think, got an awakening on that factor. Second, I think the way our entire MG system came together to provide help to everybody, and the entire relationship became much more close-knit. A lot of reassurance came in the system as well. Third, our MG community, which we have a pillar of the brand MG community, that under his work called MG Seva really got enhanced. We were serving the community both, whether it's in the form of sanitizing police cars in the front, providing ambulances, or getting into oxygen manufacturing, and likewise, that really got amped up a lot in COVID time. Flexibility of work now, work from home took a new meaning, and we believe that has changed and that will be a new norm going forward. And lastly, I would say that overall, it gave everybody a great sense of belonging as an organization also. So overall, COVID has got its share of learnings, and definitely we hope that that time never comes back, but the learnings stay with us.
Let's change gears a little bit and go to rural India. How difficult and how different is it to market cars to rural India as opposed to urban India?
Well, at this point, I would say that today, given the era of internet, given the era of access of internet to everyone, marketing and communication is largely widespread. We do have our cars going through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, 4 cities as well. Largely what we are seeing is that some people who would like to remain in tier 2, tier 3 towns will like to live there, but adopt an urban lifestyle in terms of choice of brands as well as a way of living. So it could be called urban, if you could say that, in a way, which is a fusion term that we are developing to coin. But today, choices are limitless, and preferences go beyond the geography per se.
What differentiates the MG customer?
Well, I would say the MG customer definitely is one who is well informed. The MG customer is looking at technology to be a way of life. I think that has been one of the biggest differentiators of the brand, that they accept that technology in their vehicle experience, in the ownership experience, comes naturally to them. They do see a premiumness of the product. At the same time, they see a value in the entire package. So you have a consumer who is technology savvy, who is looking at a value in the overall package and does appreciate the premiumness of the product offering. And subtle level is he's buying into the British heritage of a 95-year-old Oxford origin MG brand.
You've advocated something called car as a platform, or CARP if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Correct.
What is this and why does it matter?
That's very exciting actually, Suresh. CARP actually is car as a platform, because we believe that the way our choices of the younger generation and all of us is moving forward, digital transformation is really starting to play the forefront in the automotive space, and therefore car eventually starts to becoming a platform, and your software starts to becoming the difference. That is a key essence, which would imply that consumers will start looking for, and they are already, in fact, I'll talk about that also. Consumers are starting to look for in-car and outside-of-car subscription services. We have seen that today, when you look at Netflix and everyone is used to bite-sized services, right? You're not looking at for the full year, or you're not looking at an entire ownership package. So the way all of us in the past would, let's say I wanted a chrome-tipped alloy, or I wanted a steering cover, etc. The younger generation and all of us now as we go along, because our life is moving in a continuum from our home to workspace, be it at home or in the office physically, into the car, which means consumers are going to ask for services like utility areas, entertainment areas, safety areas, and these are offered as subscription. So utility, for example, could mean that you're looking at parking services, which would be on demand. In our case, it's on the screen of the car as well as on the MyMG app. Likewise, entertainment. So again, you have choices to subscribe to your choice of entertainment subscription, whether it is, in our case, we offer it through the Geo Bouquet, for example. You can choose that. You pay a small fee and you have it at your disposal. We're extending that even further now. The way we have country passports, you've got a nationality passport, vaccine passport, 1, 2, etc. We now have a car digital passport enabled with blockchain. So which means you can subscribe to this passport service, which is only for you. It resides in the cloud, and you can access your passport, share it with your service provider, whether it is an insurance company or a used car setup support system. And using your data, you can get some benefits either for reinsurance or for resale value. So CARP becomes a huge opportunity for consumers' benefit and services to come in forward. In fact, with 5G services coming on board soon, this will really take on to the next level. And we're experimenting. We've started this, I will not say experimenting actually, but we've initiated this in our operations, in our offer to the customers, and the journey just begun.
Gaurav, once upon a time, cars were cars and computers were computers. But in the last couple of years, we've had a slowdown in the production of cars because semiconductor chips are not available. So does this mean the car of the future is going to be 90% computer and 10% car?
Yeah, unfortunately, the chip supply situation, the semiconductors, has really hampered the ability of many of us to put the cars in the homes of our customers. But the way we see this is computers have always played a role now in the recent times, a significant role in the automotive industry, not just in the car, Suresh, but also in the manufacturing process. So they play a significant role. Also, what we are seeing is that as consumer choices are evolving, digital transformation is starting to play a key force, in fact, leading force in the ecosystem of the car, whether it is choice of services to the customer, in-car services, or the ability of flexibility as well. So in many ways, you could say that our lives are going to be they'll move around from our homes to our workspace to our car. So all of this really becomes a mobile system completely, and yes, computers and cars go hand in hand, and that's how we evolved car. Car is a platform wherein car becomes a platform and software, computers, become the differentiator.
You recently launched a set of NFTs, and everybody is curious about the metaverse. So, is the metaverse going to be virtual consumers driving virtual hectares, breaking virtual traffic laws?
No, Suresh, the Web 3.0 is definitely a space that is so interesting and evolving so rapidly, right? So like we talked about, we are a digital first company. So we also wanted, and we continuously work in how do we make our foray in this. So NFT was our stance, which we launched in November, December last year, to provide a democratization of digital art, if you can say so, making it rupee value, tax compliant, and likewise. It gave us a lot of good feedback and good acceptance as well. Now we are taking it further, and we understand that we talked about Metaverse. It is a place that we are exploring. Definitely the flexibility of 3.0 offers you many more opportunities. Very interesting, both not only from a consumer perspective, and definitely not breaking the traffic rules like you said, Suresh, but for consumer experience, fan experience within your organization, what can we do on the Metaverse area, and likewise. I will say at this point in time, we are exploring. Stay tuned because there's so much that one can dabble with and play in the Metaverse area.
Your electric car, the all-new ZSE, we saw some very healthy pre-booking interest. What is your pitch to the electric car consumer? Why should I buy your car?
Well, I would just say that the ZS EV, when we launched it first in 2020, so we were thinking about it way back in 2017 actually, has got very good momentum right from the very first month it's been brought to the market. And the all-new ZS EV has got a very, very healthy booking number as well. Unfortunately, we're not able to supply enough. Now, for the EV customer, I would only say there are a couple of points what would help people gravitate towards the EV. Number one is that we all have seen the clear blue skies in the unfortunate times of COVID, but that also made us align that, hey, listen, we all want to make a difference and choose what you can. So choice of which vehicle you drive and your bit to environment. Second is the fact that the ZS EV in particular has got an excellent range. So with one charge, you can go up to 461 kilometers, which gives you assurance about the distance you want to traverse. Third is that we provide an excellent 5-step way to reassure somebody to put the worries of charging to rest. Whether it's an onboard cable, whether it's a home charger that we provide free of cost, we come and install a charger at your house, which can be an AC, which is an AC fast charger to charge your car. Our dealers have got a DC fast charging system. We're putting chargers on the highway with our partners. Most recently, we partnered with BPCL and Tata Power as well. And then, of course, charge on the go, where you can, while you're out of charge by any chance, a mobile van comes and can help you top up your juice of the battery. So that's your charging system support, which is only growing as we speak. Cost of ownership. A ZS EV will cost you roughly close to ₹1 per kilometer compared to a multiple of 6 or 7 to a traditional engine vehicle. So when you look at the maths, cost of ownership economically beneficial, charging infrastructure growing and providing you support, a good battery with safety. IP69 is what we have in the ZS, gives you the assurance of safety and range. International product. That's what I would be my sale pitch to a customer. I'm a convert, and I would just say that I would welcome more and more consumers to shift to the EV system.
Gaurav, in your view, what is the electric car landscape going to look like in 10 years from now? Standardized batteries across OEMs, autonomous vehicles, some dramatic new way of charging. What's going to happen in 10 years?
I think first and foremost, what we will see in the EV landscape is more choices to the customer. I think what's very important is we have only a few offers right now to the consumer in India. Over the next 3 years, you will see a few more choices coming in, but a large portion of choices will start coming in beyond 25. And I think that's where the entire tipping point, if you could say that, will be there for the industry. Overall also, Suresh, if you look at this, one is consumer choice. Second is the way the infrastructure is coming up on the charging infrastructure. That's going to be really giving consumer more assurance. The government has taken a lot of good steps in terms of providing the PLI support for manufacturing, for advanced cell chemistry, for the cell manufacturing of the batteries as well. That's on the support system. And then you have the rising prices of fuel as well, of diesel and gasoline or petrol. So that again makes the EV adoption much better. So multiple factors help to take on the EV landscape to a higher level. India has signed up for 30-30, which means about we are going to be, and I think all the numbers do look at in the ballpark, approximately you could say 30% of the industry could be could be EVs for India by 2030. When you talk about commonizing batteries, I think that will be very difficult to predict at this point in time, because manufacturers and battery manufacturers will have their own particular approaches. But who knows? Who knows? This is a very evolving space. And there could be ways of looking at this commonizing in the future, but very early stages right now. But overall, consumers will have more choice. You will have good infrastructure coming up. You'll have a lot of government-supported initiatives coming into play, benefit to the customer overall, and a good population of EVs in the market as well.
Okay, Gaurav Gupta of MG Motor India. Final question to you. What kind of driver are you?
I'm a cautious driver for sure. I'm a married man, and I've got my wife and daughter, and everyone is always belted up and looking to have fun on the roads.
But if I were to ask your wife to describe what kind of driver you are, what would she tell me?
I think it might be the opposite.
All right, Gaurav. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suresh. Lovely talking to you.
That's a wrap on this episode. You can follow Melt on social media. The handle is Ready to Melt, or simply log on to readytomelt.com. And if you'd like to follow me, it's @Suvenk on Twitter. Till next week, goodbye and thanks for watching.